Okay. Good morning and welcome, everybody. Guys, it is Monday. I trust you guys have had an absolutely amazing weekend. Let me know where in the world you're joining us from. I can see a ton of our brand new Globex 360 members in the house. So a member essentially has that different color writing with a different badge there. Just saying a massive morning to our members. I got Zane, Wylan, Cohen, Ruan, Lana, Tyler, Goodwin, Aslam is in the house. Let's have a look here. Fabian as well as, and that is it. Those are our members that have joined us. Let's see where everybody is from. I can see Aslam is obviously giving us a warm welcome from Shelley Beach. Let us know where in the world you are joining us from. I can see people from Johannesburg. Darlene Shaw is in the house. Hello. Zambia. Sasselberg is in the house. Gaborone. Alexandra is in the house. Beautiful. Guys, massive welcome. Ismail saying, morning, just funded, first time ready now. That's beautiful stuff, guys. If you're brand new to the broadcast, if you're brand new to the show, please put your hand up and let us know so we can give you a very warm welcome. Globex 360 welcome. All right, so we are going to jump into it, guys. If you wish to become a member of the channel, there's a join button just below this live broadcast. You can go and smash that join button. You can be a member of Globex 360 live TV. This week I've got a ton of special events that I am planning for the live for the members area. We are having our Johannesburg year-end function that is going to be happening this Wednesday, right? Wednesday is going to be also one of the biggest days from a fundamental data perspective. So we are going to be streaming. You're going to have an opportunity to come and engage. You're going to be with us at our year-end function if you are part of the Globex 360 live TV members area, right? So we'll be streaming our function. You'll be able to talk and engage with some of the amazing human beings that have contributed towards making Globex 360 the only option that is viable to be your real broker, 100% 50-50. Yeah, so absolutely. So we're going to be doing that. I can see Solly is from Komhandla. I can see Ismail's obviously saying brand new there, and Malcolm. So yeah, I can see Taba's putting his hand up, might be brand new. Taba, if you're brand new to this is your first time to the live broadcast, and obviously a massive welcome to you. Now guys, again, as promised, we've introduced a lot of new systems. We are going to make things extremely neat and tidy and just super easy to be able to get into the markets, to understand what's busy happening. And these systems are just absolutely amazing. I can just see our trading week this week is going to be an absolute breeze, right? So we're going to start off this morning. We're going to have a look at some of the news. I found an amazing economic calendar. And again, we're going to be looking at all the trade opportunities that we've already gone ahead and uploaded into the Globex 360 client area, right? So there's a ton of opportunities. I'm going to go through them and let's have a look at what the markets have in store for us. Remember, this week is NFP Friday, right? So if you want to be a part of that, you do need to be a minimum of a Premium Plus member. And again, if you want to understand the different packages, you're welcome to head over to the website. The link is down in the description below, and that will show the difference between Premium Plus, as well as Private Wealth, right? So you need to be at least a Premium Plus member to be able to catch us live. This Friday, we are going to be trading NFP. It is going to be massive. Wednesday has a ton of fundamental data. So you guys know there's more Premium Plus shows when we have fundamental data points. And again, if you are a premium member, which means more than $100, we will be trading the New York Stock Exchange opens every day this week. It is going to be big. It is going to be massive. So let's move on. Let's go have a look at what is currently happening in the world. And we're going to give a quick look into, first starting off with a little bit of news. What is happening? There's a great article this morning from Yahoo Finance that summarizes for you, what are the things that you need to look out for and what are the things that you need to know. So I'm going to send that link into the Telegram group directly after the show, as well as the link to the brand new economic calendar. And it just makes things so much easier in order to digest across the board. So listen, just a massive welcome for joining us this morning. Again, if you want to become a member, that join button is down below. If you haven't yet funded your Globex 60 live account, go ahead and do that. This week's NFP is going to be massive. You guys have seen it with our PPI, with our CPI events, with all of our previous events. We've absolutely dominated the market. So we're going to have a special session prior to do the setups, and then we're obviously going to trade those events live. So if you want to be a part of that, again, you need to be a Premium Plus member, and the minimum there is going to be $1,000 to be part of that Premium Plus community. Now remember, that is the bare minimum. So if you want to go more than that, you are more than welcome. So let's jump into it. We're going to open up and we're going to start to have a look at what is happening in the world from a news perspective. We'll jump into some of those fundamentals, and then we'll get into some analysis in terms of trade opportunities. There's a ton of trade opportunities available this morning, as well as for the balance of this week. So without further ado, let's just jump in and let's go have a look at what is happening in the world from a news perspective. So let's jump in and let's get a look. So first and foremost, we're going to skip on the local front. There's really not too much happening that is really worthwhile talking about this morning. But I think the biggest item here is going to be a news article that I am going to share with you guys in the group. And this just gives you a really great explanation of what is really happening in the week and where you kind of need to pay a little bit of attention. But as a summary, right, the big item this week is obviously going to be NFP. Non-farm payrolls on Friday is going to be the big item. We do have some critical data that's coming out on Wednesday, and the market is going to look at that, right? Because we've got two sets of information that is going to become necessary before the next Federal Reserve interest rate decision, right? That is going to be happening on the 14th and the 15th of December. That is going to be massive. That is going to move markets in a huge way. This data contributes towards whether the Fed is going to give us a 75 basis point hike. I'm going to say us, I'm referring to the US. It affects us as traders, or they're going to go for a more dovish type of 50% interest rate hike. So the whole world right now is looking at the data this week as well as next week, because those are going to be the main contributors towards that Federal Reserve interest rate decision, right? So I'll send through this article. You guys can go and have a look. But in terms of today, we have some smooth sailing. In terms of this week, we don't have all too much massive items. Again, Wednesday being that massive one we want to pay most of our attention to. There is some earnings reports, there is some companies declaring their earnings, but nothing substantial that we really want to host specific events for just to trade that stock, right? Not as volatile, not within the big tech industry or big tech segments. And so, fairly smooth sailing looking at the course of today. Now, quickly having a look at what we can expect from a fundamental data perspective, I finally found an economic calendar outside of the one that we have built into our internal systems, one that's just really great, super responsive, super easy to understand. Now, for the longest of times, there's been an issue between consensus and forecast from fundamental data. Now, the consensus and the forecast are clearly descriptive. And again, you can just hover over the little chart here. It'll give you just not as much detail, but it's going to give you a quick idea of where's this thing going. De-inflation rate example for Germany, and that you can see inflation rate is rising, right? They're expecting a 10.3. There's a forecast of 10.2, and so the actual lies somewhere there in between, right? Higher and or lower. But anyway, just really great economic calendar. I'll send that through to you guys. You can change which countries, and just for anybody using this, you want to be on UCT +2. So if you're in South Africa and GMT +2, you want to just go ahead and select where it comes to time zone. You just want to be on UCT +2. That'll be reflective of South African GMT +2. But this is just the super high impact news. I'm not looking at medium or low impact news. And again, Monday is almost nothing. There's no items to speak about. Tomorrow being Tuesday, we have a little bit of GDP data for the Canadian dollar. Is going to move the Canadian dollar, but Wednesday is going to be the bigger item here, right? We have Fed Powell speaking, Papa Powell speaking at 8:30 on Wednesday evening, right? This is not the interest rate decision, but rather just an economic update on where we are. Remember, we received those Federal Reserve interest rate minutes last week, which we traded very, very successfully. And this is almost a follow-up to that, right? So we can definitely expect quite a bit of volatility there. As I've explained, Wednesday is our Johannesburg office year-end function. So I will be broadcasting all of these trade sessions from the function, right? You're going to see some guests in there. You're going to see some of your favorite people from the office in that live broadcast. So you definitely don't want to miss that. That is going to be a premium as well as premium plus facility. We are going to see GDP growth rate Q on Q. This is going to be the second estimation for quarter 3 before we receive that finalized estimation for that quarter. Now, there is a negative 0.6% expectation. Or previously, they are expecting a bit of growth here. They're expecting 2.7% growth, 2.6% growth. And again, remember, we've had already 2 negative GDPs for the US, right? So technically, recession is already in underway. The question now is, are they going to get that finalized GDP for the third quarter? Is that going to be a growth or a negative? If it's a negative, that's 3 consecutive negative growths on the GDP, right? So massive sign that we are definitely heading into that recession territory. Thursday, we are going to receive some items here. Personal spending, ISM manufacturing PMI is going to be on the headlines. Looking at Friday, again, the massive item here is going to be that non-farm payrolls, right? That is going to be happening at 3:30 on Friday, meaning we are going to be starting a little bit sooner, right? So we're going to start prepping at around about 2:30. We're going to set up pending orders. We're going to talk about what this could mean for markets. Look at the data led up until then. I've got a fairly good idea where NFP is going to go, and I have a fairly good idea of what we're going to do around that. But we're going to do a custom setup together. We're going to utilize pending orders. We're going to set out outcomes depending on the data that we get. How do we break that down? How do we take advantage of the markets? We've killed almost every single high impact news event over the past 3 months. We're going to see if we can keep that winning streak as we wrap up a really strong 2022. And if you want to be a part of that, like I said, that's a premium plus feature to be part of the NFP that's coming up this Friday. Now, looking into the analysis side, we are doing things a little bit differently today, because we are going to be utilizing purely our website in order to do a lot of these trade opportunities. So again, if you want to understand how to get access to this, right, you need to be a premium plus member. That means $1,000 or more, and that will give you access to all of our web and email analysis, which means it's all of the market opportunities that we've identified. Our systems help to look for price action breakouts, and it's just some really amazing stuff, right? As the software has been implemented and been brought into the space, this has been something that's been under development and well within markets for almost over a year, right? We've looked at the data, we've looked at how likely we see these market moves, and this is how we've brought this into the system. But really good analysis on, you know, what it is that one could expect. But just having a look at the breakdowns here, right? We've got about a year worth of data, and we've done some back testing, we've done some forward testing as well. But ultimately, over this last year, right, just looking at the Forex breakouts, of the 12,000 that have been identified, we've got over 8,500 of them that were correct and ran towards TP with 71% win ratio. So really amazing stuff overall. But just a quick one, having a look at the FX side of things, we've got some really good opportunities. The opportunity I like the most is USD CAD, right, with a breakout towards that top side, right, meaning we could reach that $1 buying 1 Canadian 35 cents 91 pips over the next 6 days, right? So very nice swing trade available there, as well as NZD USD has given us a opportunity. We've got a rising wedge there, but we are starting to see that breakout formation. So there is an opportunity on the table right now for at least a 30 pip move, bear move towards that 0.6095 mark. That is going to be happening over the next 4 days or so. So over the next trading week. Moving in onto the indices side of things and having a look at some indices opportunities, we have a US 30 opportunity. And this is just pure momentum moving, right? That we have an opportunity. US 30 could make a push towards that top side. I will show you guys this trade specifically because this is what I'm going to be looking at today. And those of you who trade Nikkei 225, there's a bear breakout currently busy happening, and that'll happen over the next trading day. So there's a fairly small opportunity, short time frame, 17 hours. We could expect a further continuation towards the break of the downside. I'm not too interested in this ASX 200 for the reason being that when I have a look at this trend line again, I do see we are currently just ranging sideways, right? Now, this can be due to a couple reasons. I think the biggest of those reasons is going to be the fact that we are currently sitting and waiting for that NFP. We've got a ton of things in the markets. The less strong indice markets will start this range process and just be a little bit in a sideways movement. New Jack 87 has just subscribed. Welcome and thank you for subscribing. If you haven't done so already, go and smash that subscribe button. There is a notification bell. And again, if you would like to become a member of GlobeX60 Live TV, there is that join button. You can become a member and gain exclusive content. As I said, this Wednesday, you'll have a little bit of a sneak peek into our year-end function, the award ceremony, and all of those great opportunities. So we'll be streaming that live. If you want to be a part of that, be part of the GlobeX60 family, then obviously you want to become a member to go ahead and be a part of that. Right, so indices, US 30, a 83% probability of a pushback towards the top side. We are going to look at that now in a second, as we've already entered into that London session. But quickly moving into and having a look at some of the commodities this morning, there is a possibility, a high probability of gold making an extended push down towards that 1737, so 1737 per ounce of gold. That is a 69% probability over the next 12 hours. The same thing is followed, and the correlation is obviously quite clear on gold as well as silver this morning. So silver potentially looking at breaking into that $20.89 per ounce of silver sterling, right? So we do want to obviously pay a little bit of attention to that. And just giving a quick look into crypto this morning and what we could potentially see from a crypto front. This is very, very interesting. We are looking at those potential breakouts and breakout 2 on Bitcoin, right? A potential push towards that $15,722 a coin. This is for Bitcoin as well as LTC USD. Litecoin, we are looking at that price towards that $70.34 on a specific Litecoin as well. So again, all of these opportunities are available to you and are a part of our favorite section if you are a Premium Plus member. So again, when it comes to market opportunities, they are abundant. You can go and have these also emailed to you as and when they are identified, right? If you have a look at these, most of these opportunities were identified already as early as 4 o'clock and as well as 6 o'clock this morning. So meaning you didn't have to wait for someone to send an opportunity. You didn't have to wait for anything else. This would have been sent directly through to you, and you could have go ahead and taken advantage of that. Now, but quickly, before we have a look at US 30 this morning, our new trading platform is ready to be released, right? So we're doing some final testing today. We've got some final meetings on some of the features and functionality, but I must admit we are extremely happy with where we currently are at with the current developments. And so I will announce when we're going to start to officially trade from this platform full time, right? This makes MetaTrader look archaic, and I'm super excited because this is the future of trading, and this is something we've been working extremely hard on, and we know there's been a massive demand for and from every single one of you. So this is exciting stuff, and I cannot wait to jump on board. And we aren't too far away from making this official and jumping into our new platform full time. Just quickly having a look at some of the comments from our members. I can just see massive good mornings there, as well as morning families, guys. For those of you who are Premium Plus members, please go ahead and jump in and start utilizing those, our favorite sections. It is really, really amazing stuff. Honestly speaking, it's stuff that I feel is going to change a lot of lives from a trading perspective, and just gives you those massive opportunities that gives you that market insight to be able to trade. Leaf and Skalkovec is saying, will there be a tutorial section for the web trader? Absolutely, that will be a full comprehensive part of the academy. So as we launch this week, we will essentially be in a position that you can have a full training on how to use it from start to finish. There will be basic tutorials, but there will be more advanced tutorials for those who have Premium as well as Premium Plus. Remember, the Academy will look at your account size and give you access to level of information that caters for your trading account size as well as your trading experience. Obviously, we don't go massively deep with $100 because, again, there's only so much you can do with $100. It'd be irresponsible to teach very deep techniques because again, your risk management $100 is, there's only so much you can do. So $1,000, we start to go quite deep. Private wealth, we just go off the edge, right? This is sort of hedge fund level education. So exactly. Yes, as I'm saying, the last time we used it, there was no trailing stops. We've currently re-enabled that, but not on the front end version, right? So we're busy testing that on the back end. We've removed the limits on how much those trailing stops can be. So if you want to run a 1,000,000 pip trailing stop, it is possible. So we've changed and enabled those limits, but we have put in back some of those trailing stops. There's one or two of the features that I saw were removed that I wanted added back. So we will be launching that. Okay, good stuff. Just a quick shout out to everybody that is a member. Let's quickly have a look here. As I'm saying, can we also drag the stops on the new platform? Yes, 100% we can. So the whole purpose of the new platform is also to be mobile friendly. So for tablets, for desktops, for cell phones, and the drag and drop feature is obviously a massive priority there, right? People don't have mouses to click and do all these other crazy things. So yeah, it is absolutely a necessity for everything to be drag and drop specific. Those are all the comments from our members there. Let's move on. Let's have a look at the trade opportunities that I'm most excited for looking at the course of today. So let's quickly start off, and we're going to start off having a look at US 30 specifically. As we looked quickly in our favorite section, we are expecting that little bit of a push back towards our top side this morning. And again, this is going to be part of a bit of a retest, right? US 30 currently at this point in time is currently running in this massive sideways market, right? We've been in a bull structure. If we look at a 30-minute time frame, even on a 1 hour time frame, we've been in massive bull structure. We've smashed into resistance, right? And again, this is looking at on a daily time frame. We're looking at that double top, looking at the first breakout for the first 6 months of this year. We smashed into that resistance level. Now I do expect, right, and this will be part of Premium Plus, there is an expectation we are going to break out this top side, but I do think this is only going to happen with one of the big fundamental data events for this week, as well as potentially next week, even with the federal interest rate meeting. But I do believe there's some shorter term opportunities for a sell. However, we are expecting for US 30 to make a momentum push back into those high territories, right? This will count as a retest of this move towards the top side. So we are looking for shorter term pushes towards that top side. Looking at the London Open, right, as we start to observe what we start to see at 10 o'clock, looking at today, we are getting that little bit of volume towards the top side. So on a 1 minute time frame, we can very clearly see there's volume involved in this London session towards that top side. Now, again, that is in line with our favorites analysis, as I've shown you guys pretty much a few minutes ago. Let's just have a look at our commodities there. Let's have a look there. Okay, Dow is expected to make that push up right into that territory, right? We are currently pushing up as we speak, and that was into that 34,000. Let's quickly have a look there. 34,258, right? So as you can see there, if you followed that analysis, you would have pretty much already hit your first take profit for the day. So really, really powerful stuff. I do expect it can make a little push a little bit further on, but I am looking for short opportunities at the 34,264 level, right? So I'm looking for London to bring in a little bit of liquidity and volume into that 34,264, and then obviously looking at those bigger shorts, for the reason being, you know, again, once we broke out earlier last week, and this was looking at Friday made a little bit of a pushback, made a retest, and now we're breaking down. I expect for us to make a retest. I also wouldn't be surprised for a retest at the previous high. So if we had to make a retest in this zone, I would not be surprised. And yes, then I could expect and be looking out for a little bit of a deeper push towards that downside. So please pay attention and look at our favorites, because we may very well post an update there looking at those short opportunities that could come in on indices, and that could be posted very, very, very soon, right? Again, we've got another update that has just came out at 9 o'clock, and that looks at the opportunity that we could push into resistance in the next 14 hours. Have a look in the next hour or two. We might also release an update that says we could look for a short opportunity at a very similar type of value, right? There's going to be some market structure coming into play, so you do want to be a part of that. Aslam Parak is obviously putting in that massive bomb there. Fabian is busy saying, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Guys, you know what it is all about. Go ahead and smash the like and subscribe, and make sure we keep pushing things to another level. So again, for me, US30 is going to be the main point that I'm looking at. Another thing I just want to also point out on the Euro USD side of things is we have come back to that little bit of a retest, right? Last week, Monday, we talked about Euro USD, the opportunity for that breakout, and we got the breakout on Monday. That was on the 21st. Euro USD rallied all of this time, and from Thursday afternoon we started to get a little bit of that retracement. Now the retracement has pulled back to a known zone, right? If we have a look at the 4-hour time frame, we know that we're currently sitting, and even better on a daily time frame, we are above that previous high, right? So massive support level currently sits just below us. We have just smacked it on Euro USD. We've come down to support, and we're showing a really good amount of volume on the start of this London session, right? Even from 9 o'clock, we started to see increased volume. I'm interested in, are we going to break this diagonal channel, right? And if we do, you will also see that market opportunity will make itself available. Having a look at the FX side of things, you will see an FX new analysis that will pop in here, and probably even a higher probability range. We'll probably start to see that sort of setup fall into that 75, if not 80% plus probability this morning. So again, look out for a Euro USD buy breakout of that descending channel. And again, I think we could end up seeing that. So again, should we start to see Euro USD pop through that 1.040 mark, then again, I think we're going to see a continuation towards that top side. So remember, we caught the whole of last week, that big bull move. And again, we want to see if we can catch that move as well, looking at things today. So please pay attention to that one. That could be big. That could be massive. Now, quickly having a look at the dollar index this morning. Dollar index is going to play a massive role into the trend of what we're going to see this week, right? So currently looking at it, the dollar index has made that massive bear move. We are currently busy sitting above support on our previous levels over here, right? So currently sitting at support. But again, if we have a look at the momentum this morning, US markets were offline for Thursday and majority of Friday last week, right? Thursday and Friday, looking at it, the 24th and the 25th, right? Markets seem to be in a little bit of a recovery stage, right? Dollar index gained a little bit of momentum across the board, as along the euro, the pound, as well as the yen. So again, right, that recovery from last week, that was just a little bit of a sideways move. We could start to see this morning a continuation or breakout on the dollar index towards that downside, right? Again, looking at some of those fundamental data points, there is expectations across the board that we could see that weaker dollar just from some of the data we could end up coming in. Now, just obviously as a sideways note or a sideline note, we did see extremely high Black Friday sales in the US, right? Records were broken, not substantially, but still increased from last year, this time Black Friday, to where we are in terms of last week. And again, in most of the world, as well as the US, also observed in South Africa, we have Cyber Monday, right? So this increases retail sales. Now, again, the Federal Reserve might view this as a once-off type of event. Looking at year to date, it is slightly higher than what they would want it to be. So that might be a cause for concern. But in general, the economic and fundamental data definitely pushes and supports a weaker dollar, which then supports the Federal Reserve not being as aggressive as they come in looking at those next interest rate announcements. So again, dollar index is currently sitting at a teeter zone here. We definitely want to monitor and look at whether the dollar index maintains that 105 level, right? So anything below and breaking out at 105 level, we could see a continuation towards downside. That continuation towards downside is supportive of a US30 topside push, right? So again, that is why we were able to achieve that 34,250 forecast, as we have posted in our analysis. Looking at the indices side of things, we looked at that 34,258 mark, and I believe we've just hit that from a TP perspective already. Let's just have a look here. 34,200, and yeah, there we go. 34,000 253 is where we spiked to, including spread. We should have hit that as a target, right? So we're just a few pips away. We can still, obviously, like I said, move a little bit deeper into the territory. I do expect we could push all the way to the 34,265 mark, right? So just slightly north of where we currently are. And then please pay attention to our favorites. We more than likely will post a short side opportunity on that retest zone. So those are going to be the big items that I'm paying the most attention to. USD ZAR is still currently sitting quite low. Not much interest there, but again, we will be posting those items in our favorites territory. Now, again, this week, I'm currently working on a system or a way of implementing our favorites that not only can it take you to our web trader, but essentially I would like to replicate those price action formations in the web trader. So not only do you open up the symbol, but you open up the symbol with the price action already laid out for you. So that is going to be something we're going to be implementing this week and seeing if we can go ahead and get across the board. Just have a look here. We have hit TP as that our favorites has indicated. So we're looking for that 256 mark, and we have just punched that 34,256 mark. So again, just really good market opportunities, and just another $1,000 reason why you'd want to be part of the Premium Plus section, right? Again, remember that is for $1,000 or more, and the value proposition there is just massively overwhelming, guys. Again, if you want to be part of that, all you simply have to do is have a $1,000 live account. Again, remember, we also add in, we're still running the $100 deposit bonus. So if you wish to have a bonus type of account, you then get $1,000 in terms of that 100% bonus that adds towards your equity. But if you like a cashback account, which is something that I prefer and that I run, then obviously you can select a cashback account. But again, minimum of $1,000 needed. If you're part of Premium Plus, if you want to be part of Private Wealth, that is a $5,000 plus account there. Now, again, for today, we don't have too much fundamental data points. There won't be Premium Plus shows over the course of today, but we will be having a Premium Plus or Premium show. That will be the New York Stock Exchange. We are going to be trading at 4:15 this afternoon, right? Looking at that 4:30 opening, we are going to trade the New York Stock Exchange. Again, this is going to be the first day the dollars comes officially open up since we've obviously had those two public holidays. We can expect, again, it is a Monday, we can expect a substantial amount of volume from the dollar perspective, right? Again, Mondays are generally a little bit slower, but again, we are going to see a big push in the volume in terms of the New York Stock Exchange open. In terms of our member comments, really quickly, Luke saying you're a blessing, brother. No, absolutely. You are, without a doubt, for being a member, for being a part and parcel, for having a live account, for trading in the best possible environment there is. It's all you, fam. Aslam saying we'll be watching your USD closely. Aslam asking a question, Dane. With the index going down, shouldn't Brent be reversing and going up, right? Yeah. So for those you know, Brent's obviously made a massive push to the downside. We opened up with a gap. And again, I think Brent has substantially failed to really carry that $90 range, right? Brent has always been one of those ones, you know, has scared me quite a bit. I've always looked at potentially the $98 breakout zone. I've said that for quite a while, pretty much for the start of November. Actually, as we were building up to it, we made a temporary push there, but immediately failed to get above that. So I've always been quite scared of Brent, if I'm honest. Aslam and some of you guys that are pretty much veterans when it comes to Brent, you guys know these cycles a little bit more than anybody else. But honestly speaking, you know, for Brent to have failed this particular level and bounced off of that side over there, this is essentially going to be a little bit, if you ask me, a little bit of manipulation, right? Again, for those of you who remember, there was the Saudi deal to essentially cut oil productions by 2 million barrels per day. So let's ask ourselves this question, right? If we have one of the main oil contributors in the world, right, Saudi Aramco, cutting down on those 2 million barrels, not per month, not per week, per day, right? What does that mean, right? Ultimately, when we see that type of cut in oil supply, right, if you look at price is dominated by two things, right? Supply and demand. So if demand remains exactly the same as it kind of has for around the world, but you increase the supply of oil into a system, that forces price to go down. There's more of something to buy, the demand is the same. It means you can have your pick, right? Because there's a ton of people producing the same asset or instrument. So you can have your pick, and that generally drives the price of something down. However, when it comes to the Saudi Aramco discussion and the oil production cut, when you remove the amounts of supply, right, that is going to be a cause for price of this thing to rally. Why? Because the supply is becoming scarce. The demand is still there. There's less and less of it to buy. So the assets and supply that is available to buy becomes at a premium, right? And I was a little bit skeptical about the Saudi Aramco deal. I did announce that when it was busy happening, right, I believe that the Saudis had a little bit of a different agenda by essentially restricting, right, the amount of barrels or the amount of oil that is in floating supply. Again, the world would have thought that the price of oil would have gone up. I was a little bit skeptical about that because I see that if you want to control monopoly on this particular space, right, they have a massive oil facility. So again, driving the price of oil down would be better for them long term, because again, they can stockpile a ton of oil. And again, at the point at which they release it onto the market, nobody else can compete with them on a price per barrel type of situation. So I think the bigger, longer alternative worldwide. Again, even though we've got the Russia-Ukraine issue, we've got shortages of oil and energy. Again, there's a bigger incentive to drive the price down, create those monopolies where honestly it just isn't feasible for some of the smaller players to participate. And then again, once those smaller players have essentially been pushed out of the system, you've got all the oil supply in the world to stockpile and then release that back and flood that market. And you've obviously got that bigger alternative. I know Aslam took a big knock this morning with that market gap opening down. Honestly speaking, I saw, obviously a ton of people looking at catching the bottom of that market. To be honest with you, oil just scares me because the pip count is big. The cost to trade the asset is extremely high. And it just takes, it takes people who understand that asset, who trade in that asset on a daily basis. So yeah, that big push down, that gap down, and the continued move, it's a big move, right? It seems insignificant from just a price perspective, but let me just tell you something, right? A move there from there to there seems like nothing. $83.67 to 81, let's say 30. It seems like nothing, right? But I just want to show you guys this really quickly. But if you were actually, let's look even somewhere else. Right, if we have a look at, let's say, the Wednesday, or let's say the Thursday move, right? Thursday move, we would have loved to have seen just go back into structure. Personally speaking, right, I would have liked to have seen this move go back into structure. So I just want to show you guys something, right, of how lucrative it can be, but also at the same time, how hard it can be to trade Brent at times. If we look at that $89.95 55 mark, or let's use the 98 mark. Let's just talk about where it is now, right? 81.28, just from a stop perspective. And let's just say it goes back to the $98 range. Right? And this is just a one lot trade, right? This isn't big. I know some of the guys trade serious values. I know Aslam, you pump the markets. So, I mean, this isn't massive lots, but this is just a standard lot, right? If Brent was expected to break through here, right, at this point, we're at support. I believe it was even on the 17th. We were really hoping that Brent would do something here, right? It was at a fundamental point here. Again, we had an ascending triangle breakout to the downside. But even if, as an example, someone was holding a Brent buy, right, from Wednesday, Thursday last week, a standard lot pushing towards that downside, right, is just one standard lot is basically $8,000, right? Easy $8,000. That's 150,000 Rand goodbye, or at least in a negative. So with the gap, with the continued push down, personally speaking, just looking at the structure of where Brent is, right? Yeah, Assam smacked 43 lots as a negative. So you can imagine, take 150,000 Rand times it by 40. So yeah, Assam is not having a great morning, as I wouldn't. But again, that's unfortunately, even a stop loss in this case, when a market opens the gap, right? Even if for some reason, right? Example, even if for some reason, right? Let's say at this point here, let's say your absolute stop, right, was maybe that support there or whatever the case may be, right? And markets press into that area and then markets gapped it, right? It doesn't mean your stop loss will be honored. So again, just extremely difficult trading environment. Again, for me, you know, Brent became out of question the second we broke here. I'm not interested in shorting Brent. I don't know enough about it. And personally speaking, it's a scary asset to trade personally. Like I see US30 as no problem. Some other people see US30 as scary. It just is going to come down to trading styles. But yes, Brent has been a monster. What we will do this week is we're going to focus a lot on Brent. Right. Ron Clausen, US30 just touched the 34,268 mark. Beautiful stuff. Thank you, Ron. Let's give that a look there. I really, really like that. Okay, so we're going to get back to Brent in a second because I am going to focus. If we have clients that have been hit by a market, that's all the incentive I need in the world to allocate time and that we can smash it together, right? That's how I've always traded in the past. If I've had a market that has smacked me around like it owes, like I owe it money, right? That is some of the best incentives for me to get back and really get serious, not in trading that market, not in actively the next day revenge trading, because you guys know how that works. Revenge trading is, yeah, it's very rarely ever worked out. There's once or twice revenge trading actually worked, but not all the time. But that is some of the best opportunities to get back into that market, to learn, to study. So yeah, Aslam for you, as well as let's see who else got smacked there. Yeah, Alverno, for everybody that is a member and takes US30 quite seriously, I'll invest some proper time, some proper resources in trying to understand some patterns there. There are some patterns we've seen in Brent in the past, and we might then have to look at Brent, crude, as well as WTI as a combination of things. So we will have a look at that. Just quickly having a look at US30, we're pushing into that zone. I do obviously have a very big band of resistance here. I just want to tidy this up so we can have a little bit more space on this chart. So we're getting a decent amount of volume in that market. There we go. Okay, so we're getting a really good amount of volume into US30 in line with, again, that dollar weakness. As you guys can see, okay, so the reason US30 is rallying is the dollar index just broke structure. As I was speaking about a few minutes ago, we were talking about the possibility of the dollar breaking structure towards downside. A weaker dollar, right? And this is where WTI is going to get a bit weird, right? A weaker dollar should mean better oil prices, right? Oil, just like gold as a commodity, is priced in the dollar. So when we get that weaker dollar, you want to see those higher prices in Brent. You're going to see higher prices in WTI, as well as crude, as well as gold. So if, right, we go have a look here. If the market is being driven by the dollar right now, if I switch over to the gold chart, we should, right, if the market is being driven by the dollar, we should see gold in a position where we are seeing some of those gold rallies, right? So let's have a look. Ready to go. So we can see gold in that little bit of a push. So there's a 30-minute time frame. Switch over to 15 minutes. We will see that the normal market structure is running somewhere in this region, right? There's a very rough estimation, but we would have seen original market structure running something in that region, something like that. So we are getting that punch through on gold towards the top side. The question is, how sustainable is this? Is this a rally for the rest of the session, right? Or where are we busy going? Again, right, when we have a US market holiday, right, this is just a tip. This is something we're obviously going to teach to Premium Plus as well as Private Wealth. When there's a holiday, have a look, right? When that market goes offline for a serious holiday, I don't know if I should actually teach this in the free session, because this is going to be something that we're going to be able to take advantage of on every single public holiday over December. Actually, I'm going to save this for Premium Plus, right? There's a tactic to looking at when there's a holiday, how to deal with that market, as well as what that market does in its holiday state, right? Not just whether it's a little bit bearish, a little bit bullish, or sideways, or whatever the case may be. But there's a very, very specific way to analyze that market, how it acts naturally, and then how it should act when markets come back online. That is almost an indication, right? Again, it's almost like this. If you want to know who's your true friends and you want to know who what people truly think of you, when you ask them to your face, they're going to say one thing, but listen to what people say behind your back, because that's the true idea of what they think of you, right? So again, when markets are offline, they're not able to act defensively towards pump and supply when it comes to massive hedge funds, because again, most of the US hedge funds are US based. Some of the big money is US based. When they're offline, how the market acts naturally, right, is an indication of what the market is trying to do naturally. And when markets come back online, how that reaction changes gives you an idea of what could be some of the current trends. And again, current trends are going to refer to current economic conditions. So again, it's not massive forecasts, but it's going to at least give opportunities over a little period of time. I will be teaching this part of Premium Plus, and this will allow you guys, those of you who are essentially going to be on holiday, to log in, look at these analysis. We will talk about them, and we will take advantage of those markets. So dollar index definitely weaker this morning, breaking towards that downside. The only question I have now, okay, so there we go. So we pushed into that resistance. We made that a little bit of a retest there. For me personally, this is a little bit of engulfing. I'm in a position where I would like to, honestly speaking, I would like to see US 30 short. Now again, my NFP prediction, where I think NFP is going to go, this plays in towards that, right? Not that I think NFP is going to cause a US 30 short. I actually think the opposite. However, I would like to see US 30 retreat off of these highs, right? So imagine this as an example, right? As someone going for a long jump, right? You know the goal is to go higher, you know the goal is to go further, but you sometimes need to retreat and make that new run up to gain momentum to break through. That is what I like to see prior to big events. It just adds to that all perfect storm combination. So I would like to see US 30 make it a little bit of a deeper press to the downside. I'm not going to just short a technical level, right? I'm not looking at just shorting a random retest. I would be looking for a little bit of a breakout market structure type of trade. So again, I'd be focusing on finding our entry in terms of that little bit of a retest and breakout. So we actually have it technically on a smaller time frame, right? So if you have a look at that move there, we made a little bit of retest, we've broken out, we're currently retesting. So I'm going to, personally speaking, I'm going to go in for a short there, and I'm going to essentially short that market at that retest, and I'm looking at my high just in terms of where we broke out. Now, it is possible to press back into that zone. So essentially what we want to do is we want to find a good zone, right? And we're going to go quite deep into stop losses, because again, a stop loss is not what you feel it should be from a risk perspective. A stop loss should be where a stop loss should be. There's some really amazing content that I was looking at this weekend, and just stuff that I really want to go deeper on. A stop loss must be where a stop loss must be, not where you want it to be, not where you think it should be. A stop loss has to be in an area where liquidity is not going to go touch your stop loss. So if you are on a sell with me there, then have a look at that massive, beautiful price action, beautiful little push towards that downside, and you should already be in profit regardless of where in this trade you are. So nice little quick push there. Thank you to Ron for pushing and saying that we are getting some movements there. So we are already falling. All right, so nice little fall there. We came for that retest. As I explained, this will probably go into our trades very, very soon. We should get an update here on indices for that potential retest and breakout. Let's go have a look there. Okay, so it will come in pretty soon. We will update this. We usually look at it on the hour, so we'll see what formulates over this next little bit. But if you are on a sell with me there, you should be running a couple hundred pips in profit, and you can at this point just put your stop loss to entry, and you're pretty much an investor in this market. So just well done on a US 30 position. But just going back to Brent, guys, again, for those of you who've had any sort of push there, I will be in a position where I'm going to study Brent even further for every single one of you, right? Specifically Aslam, we will look at that. And for those of you who enjoy trading Brent, I'm not going to shy away from it. Again, if it's something you guys enjoy, and even more importantly, if Brent's taken money from us, right, that is the best form of motivation, right? You want to motivate me in life? Tell me that I cannot do something, right? You want to say, Dane, you can't own that car, you can't have that house, you can't have that life, you can't have whatever, you can't understand this. The best motivation, and I think that's something that potentially my enemies or people who don't like me necessarily don't understand, best thing you can do for me, the best favor you could do for me as someone who maybe dislikes me as a person or trader, whatever the case may be, is tell me something I cannot do or something I cannot have. That is the best blessing you could ever give me, because that gives me so much energy and so much motivation to tackle that market. Now, we are running out of time here. Let's quickly have a look here. This is not Dow. I just want to give a touch onto US30, Euro USD, apologies, because I think that Euro USD breakout is already happening. There we go. So Euro USD breakout is happening as we called it out from a price action perspective. So Euro USD is breaking. I see Ruan's, Lana's saying Euro USD. So Lana might have caught Euro USD for that buy and should be smashing it. Euro USD is not massive now, but it's at least 30 pips towards top side. So nice, beautiful trades there. Just pure price action, just pure analysis, looking at things from that perspective. So guys, outside of that, we are Asam's in his buys on Euro USD, beautiful stuff. Asam's also entered a sell with me on US30, beautiful stuff. And the sells could develop over the course of the day. This could definitely move later on as a swing trade for quite a bit of time. So again, guys, we have quite a bit happening in the world today. But some of these trades we can hold over the course of the day. So some of these little scalps will be swing trades. Some of these scalps will turn into trades we can, like I said, hold all the way into the New York Stock Exchange session. Again, have a look at our favorite trades. It will keep updating. So again, if you're looking for trade opportunities, you are part of Premium Plus, you can go and have a look at that. And right now, US30 is absolutely smashing it towards the downside. So if you're on that, you're making money, go ahead and celebrate with us. Go and smash the like button, go smash the subscribe button. And if you would like to be a member of Globus 360 Live TV, you know what to do. Go ahead and the join button down below and you can be a part of that. Other than that, guys, as always, you know the drill. Be safe, trade safe, and we'll see everybody for premium accounts. If you have more than $100, your link to the premium show will be in your back office in your client area as well. On the left hand side, when you log in, you'll see live TV, right? That's where you'll see links to the shows dependent on the account size that you have. All right. So guys, and outside of that, you know the drill. Be safe, trade safe, and for the rest of you, I will see you guys this afternoon for the New York Stock Exchange Open, and we're going to see if we can continue to dominate the market again. I expect a ton of dollar movement this afternoon. We've caught a sniper entry on US30. We've caught a sniper entry on Euro USD, but we're going to continue to see if we can dominate the markets across the board as well as elsewhere. So Euro USD, nice big heavy moves there. I would honestly say you can move your stop loss into entry. If you caught the breakout, you can go ahead and move that stop loss to entry. Beautiful, nice, beautiful start to the week. I did promise Mondays will be a little bit more eventful. And again, that's just purely going to be due to the fact we've had those US public holidays. And again, quiet times don't mean quiet trading. It just simply means opportunity to prepare ourselves. So just having a look at Euro USD, Euro USD is actually, taking a ton of volume there. You guys are in on that Euro USD trade. It's making some serious pumps towards that top side, right? We're getting some nice solid pushes there. So if you are on that one, you should be smiling. You should be having some fun with us. Just really great stuff overall. So guys, listen, it is Monday. It is the last Monday of this month. NFP is this Friday. Listen, you have a million reasons why you need to have your Globus 360 live accounts. If you don't have a live account yet, link in the description down below. Go ahead and fund. We have an amazing team. We'll get you sorted, verified, featured. You get a deposit bonus. You get access to the live broadcasts. You get trade bonuses. You get trade opportunities on the website. There's the web trades. There's a million different reasons. So you guys know the drill. You know what to do. Outside of that, guys, as always, have yourselves an amazing day. Trade opportunities will be in the web trader, and I'll see you guys all dollars for lunch. Until then, have yourselves an amazing, amazing morning. Be safe out there, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Goodbye.